Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machin Le'Ra online smicha. As we are preparing for Hanukkah, let's find a connection between the parsha of this week and Hanukkah, because as the Rebbe would always quote, Minei Mizbarchen Kula Yoimim, that from Shabbos, the Shabbos that comes before the upcoming week, the blessing of the upcoming week they get from the Shabbos. So there must be a connection, a drive, a push, a blessing that we could learn from the Shabbos before, give us strength to celebrate Hanukkah properly. So let me tell you two things that come up in the Parsha that you see the same theme. It says that the Ashes Potiphar tried to seduce Yosef to do an Aveira. So it says, Vayovei habayso lases malachtoi. Yosef came home, and he was almost chas v'shalom going to fall for her, but he thankfully he caught himself. He stopped. Says Rashi, what made him? Rashi quotes from the Gemara. What abled him to stop? He appeared. He saw in front of him the feature. He saw his father's vision in front of him. So that stopped him from doing the Aveira. So I saw somebody asking a question, why is it that Yosef had the schus, that he almost, but that because he saw the vision of his father's face, it stopped him. And earlier, we have the story of Yehuda and Tamar, and over there, to Yehuda, he wasn't stopped from doing any Aveira, and he didn't have the merit that his father's vision come to him to stop him. Why is it that this has only happened to Yosef to help him not to fall, and not, or take the story as the brothers sold Yosef away? Why didn't the father appear to them, and that would stop them from doing something negative? What was Yosef's quality? What was he doing right that he had the connection that his father appeared to him in a way to stop him from doing something wrong? So I read that somebody explains it so beautiful. He says that the tzaddik, or the father, in this case Yaakov, appears to Yosef to stop him only after he sees that Yosef himself did something to want to be stopped. In other words, it says that the pasuk over and over again, that she was trying to seduce him. He didn't listen to her, and he said, no. When Yaakov sees that you are working on yourself and you're not willing to fall, even if it got to the crunch time, Yaakov comes to help. But by the brothers, and or by the story of Yehuda, we see no regret. We see no action from their side to want to be stopped. If you don't show any action from your side, Yaakov or the tzaddik is not necessarily there going to help to give you that initial blast. The initial blast has to come from you yourself. And then they come to help. And we find a very similar story at the end of the parsha. The end of the parsha, we know that the two ministers tell Yosef about their dream and how Yosef interprets the dream. So we find something very fascinating. The Sarah Mashkin, the minister who was in charge of the drinks, they both did something that caused them to be in prison. And they both fed something to the king that he threw them in prison. So why did Yosef interpret the Sarah Mashkin's dream as something positive, and the baker's dream not positive? So the answer is because you listen to the dream of the Sarah Mashkin. In the dream of the Sarah Mashkin, everything about in his dream is he's doing this. He is holding the cup, and he is squeezing the grapes into the cup, and he's giving Pare the cup. So he's doing things. He's a man of action. If you're action and you're not depressed and down, then we're here to help. Then it's something positive. By the chasmonoeim, the minister of the baker, the one in charge of the baker, by him everything was like dull. His dream is he's not doing anything. He sees a basket on the head, and there are 3 loaves of bread, he's not involved in the breaking. He's not lifting his finger in any way to help anything to bring to Parai. So when a person is in a person's Rahman al in a state of depression, deadbeat, we can't help you. When a person is showing movement, showing life, showing action, that's a sign of I could get you out of there. And that's why Yosef interpreted the Sarah Mashkin for a positive thing and the Sarah from that. And that is, what's the similarity to Chanukah? So because of these days, in the Rambam, in the one parak a day, we just came across in Hilchos Sanhedrin, parak Chaf Dalid. The Rambam says, the Rebbe asks a question, why do we stress in Aneris and Lolu, we say, Al Yidei Kayanecha HaKdoshim, that the ones who lit the menorah were the holy Kayanim. So the Rebbe asks, why is it important to stress that it was the Kayanim that did it, and why do we even give them the title of Kedoshim? And the Rebbe says, because halachically, this was a big problem. Halachically, for 5 kids to go fight a whole nation, it's suicide. How were they allowed to do so? And the Rebbe says, because they were special, because they were Kedoshim, Kayanecha Kedoshim, for them, Mesiras Nefesh is allowed. For a simple person, Mesiras Nefesh is not allowed. But the era of the Yevanim was a time that we went above and beyond. And I'll give you an example of what the Rambam says. Typically, you get Malchus for transgressing an Isim and a Torah. And Bezdin can't punish for just anybody doing anything unless there's clear evidence. And definitely they don't give them harsh punishments for a lower tier Avera. During the time of the Yevanim, it was an exception to the rule. The Rambam says, Ma'isa be'echad she'rochav al asus b'Shabbos b'mei Yevanim. It was once in the times of the Greeks, when they made a gzeira that nobody should keep Shabbos. They didn't allow the Yidden to keep Shabbos. And there was a Jew that went horseback riding on Shabbos. Horseback riding on Shabbos is not a big Isser. It's just a gzeira d'Rabbanon. But because it was a time when you had to be picture perfect, the Chachamim felt, we're going to slam the book on this guy. And you don't get a heavy punishment for this usually. But because of this circumstance, Heviyu beBazdin v'soku. They brought him to Bezdin and gave him Malchus for going horseback riding. Why? Because the time when you have to shine most, and the time you have to show your action is sincere all the way, there is no deviating even a drop.